Hello everyone, my name is Oliver. My mission is to bring you closer to organic Japanese green tea, and today we're gonna dive into a next mega sampler tasting. So this is our mega sampler which we have in our assortment with 28 different teas, and today we're gonna dive into Essentia because I'm in mood of Essentia, so I'm gonna pick myself Essentia today. So let's see what we can get out of this one here, if there's Essentia available. So I want to have Essentia. That's a problem when you're picky, then you never get what you actually want. So today I'm in mood of Essentia, and by coincidence I actually got the tea which I wanted. The Yamaga no Sato, or the Fukamushi Yamaga, how we also call it, is actually a deep steamed tea. So this is a mix or blend of two different varietals. One is the Asatsuyu and the other one is the Yabukitas, and this tea is from the region of Shizuoka, the biggest region of Japan when it comes to green tea production. So let's have a dive into this one and already show you the leaves. So when we have a look at the leaves, so we see that already when you pour it on the small plate, you see that it is a smaller needle or smaller kind of shaped tea. So this tea actually has been through the deep steaming process. But what does it mean? Deep steaming, so when you look at Japanese green tea, that green tea not becomes black tea and withers and then oxidizes overnight and becomes black. It has to be within the time frame of 2 hours after harvesting, put into a steaming machine. But the steaming can be short, or so-called light steaming, then middle steaming, and long or deep steaming. And deep steaming method is just around the double to maybe even 3 times the amount of time which you apply for a short steaming. So the tea leaves, they get through a steam bath of around 100 degrees Celsius. And there, also this is around 212, 215 Fahrenheit, and there actually the enzymes which then render the tea black are killed, and this is why then the tea stays green. And this is what deep steamed tea makes it the kind of favorite for also people who are looking for more sweet tea, because what also happens, it breaks a little bit down the cell membranes. You will see that the tea is much greener than normal green tea, and also it renders the tea more sweeter, that it suppresses the catechins which are the more astringent particles in the green tea. So this is what you will get with a steeped or deep steamed green tea, and it is becomes much more into vogue over the last time, because people, they are looking more and more for a sweeter tea, and it was actually out of a kind of situation of misery that the Japanese tea industry developed this tea. So if we go back to the Second World War, where the US and Japan were in war, and the US was actually one of the biggest markets to sell green tea to for the Japanese tea farmers. But after the Second World War, these two countries, during the Second World War, they were in war, and so after the Second World War, they were not opened up to each other anymore. So the Japanese tea industry couldn't sell the tea anymore to the US. So they had a lot of overproduction, and they couldn't sell it inside of Japan. And in Japan, actually, tea drinkers were looking for more sweet, more smoother taste profiles, more higher grade also taste profiles, which are mainly cultivated in the south. And Shizuoka, as it is the coldest tea region, or one of the coldest tea regions in Japan, it also gives tea a little bit more of a harsher flavor, a harsher tone. And also cultivars or varietals which are actually a little bit less sweet are cultivated because they are less frost sensitive, so they are more frost resistant. And then what they found out in the production process, if you steep the tea leaves a little bit longer, they get smoother and they get sweeter. And that's how actually the Fukamushi was kind of invented, you might say. And then this tea became more and more in vogue, and Shizuoka is now the birthplace and the strongest region of the Fukamushi. Nevertheless, you also find the farmers in the south who apply this method also to teas who might be a little bit more harsh, not that sweet. So actually that's what Fukamushi does. And we can see this tea here is actually a higher grade green tea or Fukamushi green tea, and you can see it by the darkness of the leaves. Normally the tea leaves, they're a little bit brighter when they're unshaded and they're containing a lot of catechins or more of astringent particles. As soon as it is shaded, it becomes sweeter, and when you let it go through also the steaming process, then you will have a beautiful sweet tea. And this is also something that the Japanese tea farmer discovered over time, that they also could render even a good tea already into a much more smoother, sweeter, and give it more fruity notes to it, like this one here, where we are a little bit around lychee berries, which could be kind of interesting. Important is low temperature brewing. So what I did here is 65 degrees Celsius. This is 155 to 160 Fahrenheit. And I bring a Fukamushi Fukamushi Kyusu. So you can see there is a sifter all around this teapot. So this is important. When you brew Fukamushi, the tea leaves, they are actually smaller, they are finer, so they block a little bit the filter. So it's important that you have a filter that goes all around so that you get all the water out and it stops post brewing after you poured the water. So let's do this. 5 grams of the Yamaga no Sato. And we add around 6 ounces of water, which is around 150 milliliters to 180, and we're going to leave it here. The good thing about Fukamushi styled tea is that it actually takes much less time to be brewed. So we are talking here around 45 seconds to even 1 minute. Meanwhile, senchas, they need 1 to 1.5 minutes. It's not a huge difference, but there's a small difference between the teas. And we're gonna take the water or the glass, and I'm gonna show it to you. So just wait for 15 seconds more, and then we are ready with this tea. Good. So then let's have this. Et voila. So you can see it's a very, very nice green, intense green already. And the flavor is just beautifully sweet, round. I get banana peel, I get a little bit of mango, a little bit of pineapple. So it's very, very strong in this kind of sweet notes of a tea. Important with this tea is really that you go down with the temperature. So 65 degrees Celsius, 60 degrees Celsius, so between 140, 160 Fahrenheit is really the best temperature for this tea, because it just renders the taste very, very smooth and very, very beautiful in terms of its kind of more fruity, smooth notes, and without being too harsh, even on the spinachy side and especially on the astringent side. As soon as you push the temperature, as soon as you go up to 180, 175, 180 Fahrenheit, there you're gonna bring out, or boiling water, which is even higher at 210, then you really bring out, or you stress the tea, and when you stress the tea, it really gets kind of a more astringent and a less kind of nice way or nice taste to drink it. So go really down to 140 to 155, 160 Fahrenheit. So between 60 and 65 degrees Celsius, this is the temperature kind of range, which is just perfect for this tea. And the first one, as I said, very, very beautiful. But what's interesting about the Fukamushi actually is steeping number 2. So you will see that the tea gets much, much greener. And voila. And let's have a look. You really can see how intense this green now becomes. So very, very beautiful. And this is typical for the Fukamushi brewed tea. So it has this beautiful, beautiful, intense green color. And this is especially in the second brewing really, really strong. And this is only due to the fact that due to the brittle or more brittle teas, you have the cell membranes which were broken down in the production process, and then it gives it a beautiful, beautiful kind of green, intense green color. So often when you look at the Japanese green tea photographs, these are often Fukamushi teas with this intense green colors, for which the Japanese green tea is known for. So definitely a tea which is perfect in this kind of model of Japanese green tea. And this is the reason also these teas are often used, because they just show this beauty of this Japanese green tea, this side of this intense green color. And in terms of taste, what's nice is in the first brewing you really get the strong sweetness with it. So you are really on the side of this fruity pineapple, mango, banana peel, a little bit of lychee berry. So something in this direction which you get. And then in the second brewing, due to the stronger greenness, you also get a little bit more of a spinachy tone. So it's a nice balance now in the second of sweet, fruity flavors together with more of a grassy or a spinachy side. So it changes a little bit, and I like the Fukamushi, especially in the second brewing, as it's a nice balance between these two. It refreshes you on the one hand, but it's also still very sweet on the other hand. And you have no astringency yet. So now I'm curious to see what the third brewing will hold. Will be very similar in color-wise to the second brewing. So let's just finish this quickly. And again, you can see this beautiful green, intense green color, which you get from the Fukamushi. And taste-wise, still, even it kind of in the second brewing, the kind of the grassiness or the green side of the tea became more dominant. Here again, we are back to more smooth, more sweet, and more fruity tones. So definitely a tea which is known for its sweeter side and giving away a little bit of its fruit, of its kind of greener and spinachy tones in the middle, but all in all dominated by its fruit note. So this tea, one from Shizuoka, one also which is very much loved. We had a lot of positive feedback about this tea here, but maybe you should just try it for yourself in one of our green tea sample packs. And if ever, then have a question. If you ever have a question, then just ask it. Put it down in the comments or ask us via Instagram or also Facebook. We will be happy to answer. Thanks a lot for watching. See you and bye-bye.